Hey everybody, welcome to Worldview Finder. I'm Chris.
I'm Adrienne.
And I am Jimmy.
Hey, we'll introduce all of us in a little bit, but hey, you and I,
We're
and
back.
some other people, we're back after 5 years. So 5 years ago, I had a kid and you had a kid, like right back to back.
Podcast died.
we had it for 2 years. We had Worldview Finder, and I've changed jobs. You've changed jobs. We've had kids and all that stuff since then. And so, but we wanted to bring this back. And so, really, our church, one of the things that, our church, not yours, get out here, but the church. No, but we really want to see, like, our goal of this podcast is changing the secular worldview of the next generation, and that's by helping people think through the media they consume, because we all consume media all the time. It's all around us and all that, and so we want to help you to think through that. And so one of the things you added, like equipping the young generations to engage in meaningful conversations with their friends about the media they consume. And so so we want you to like think about what you're taking in, and then to be able to have good conversations with people about it. Yeah. And then I like one of the questions, like longtime fan Hannah wrote in, is it satisfying to you if the world is like this? So like if you listen to a song or you watch a movie, like if the world was like this and the people, like everybody in the movie, the way they act and stuff, is this what you want the world to be? So so this is just an intro episode, but like a lot of our episodes will kind of dive into the culture and the things that are going on in movies and music and TV shows.
The
books,
worldview they portray.
The worldview. So biblical worldview is kind of what, like, we want you to, as you take things in, to be like, okay, what does the Bible say about this? And do these things line up? And if not, which one's right? Which one's wrong? So hopefully the Bible's right. So that's what we're going for. So today I was reading in the YouVersion app, the Louis Giglio has a book, Giants Must Fall. It's about David and Goliath. But one of the things that he said, do you live for acceptance or from it? And it was an interesting question because I like, especially with media and stuff, and it's like YouTube and all that world that I've jumped into recently with my NF reaction video.
Go watch that.
But I find myself like, as soon as you post something, I'm like, I have to keep like, did I get likes?
It's refreshing it every 30 seconds. See if you got more views.
Replying to all of the comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting
That's
mad
been Chris
about them.
all week.
It is, and I'm terrible about it. But the living from acceptance is that Christ has accepted us for who we are, and he died for us. So like that's the, like, we want to help people to get there. Like to like, okay, are you just living for the things in this world, or are you actually like living from acceptance, and then from that we engage with the culture and all that stuff, or are we trying to like get attention? So
for the health of our team, just only leave positive reviews.
And like everything, please. So but let's introduce ourselves. And so Adrienne, let's start with you.
Okay, I'm Adrienne.
Hi, Adrienne.
I was going to say welcome to our podcast. I'm super excited to be here. I am Chris's sister, for those of us who don't know. So that's what I bring to the table. the sibling thing.
But what?
Okay. Well, do you want me to tell what I do? Or?
Tell what you do.
Okay. I work at an organization called For Evansville. We just want you to not just live in Evansville, but be for Evansville. And we help the Church of Evansville work together for the flourishing of our city, basically. Yeah.
I'm going to a lunch this week with you guys.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I do podcasts there, so you can listen to.
There you go. Go listen to that podcast.
The social media, so communications person for them.
All right. So, but like for media stuff, what do you like for this podcast? Like, what are the things that you like? Sure. That you're gonna tell us about.
I am a reader, so I will read books. And I want to say, anybody listening, like, what I actually enjoy the most about media is talking to people about it. And so that's the kind of my area is going to be like the conversations you can have with people. I'll probably get engaged a lot in those because anytime somebody suggests something to me, I'll usually go and watch it. And I will check.
Except Triple R, which I've told you numerous times.
It's on my list. It's really on my list.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, because I feel like if somebody tells me to watch something, that means that something about it has influenced them or impacted them. They think it's good for a reason.
Oh.
And so then I can watch it and immediately have a connection with them. And it's just weird because like somebody I hadn't talked to in months like sent me a text and was like, hey, will you watch Everything Everywhere All at Once and let me know your thoughts? I was like, okay.
That was a wild movie. I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Did you? I still haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it.
Oh.
But again, it's on my list because that's what I feel like is like, okay, well, something about it is able to be talked about and can dive into it. And so I think that's really important about media. So anyways, I love books, movies, TV shows mainly. So if you have any recommendations, I would love to dive in to those like with you, basically.
Yeah, but apparently it's a long list.
That's true.
It is long as it. Get on the list.
You're number 78 in line.
Well, it was funny, like you mentioned somebody that just called you out of the blue or whatever. I had a friend that texted me like, one that I hadn't talked to like maybe a year or something. He's like, hey, how did Winter Soldier end? And I was like, I don't remember because
that's a weird question.
So long ago. Yeah. He's like, I can't remember. I was like, there's this thing called Google.
Yeah. Let me ask Chris how it ended.
That means they want to engage in some sort of conversation. It's important.
It's true.
It means they're lazy. Don't want to look it up on Google. So, Jimmy.
Hey, I'm here. I know. I feel like the outsider because you guys had this going on, and then this is my first time being on a podcast, so it's a lot of fun.
We had ongoing guests in the other one, not a guest, the other like people that were regulars. So we got rid of them,
and now I'm here. Well, mostly because I brought the microphones here, so I set it all up. So that's one.
Age level down.
Hey, that's if nothing else, I'm the youngest person here, so I get to, and even on staff, I get to bring the young person's perspective to everything we do here. So
if you're listening only,
I'm only 16,
and he has braces.
That's true. See, I'm only 16. I at least look like it.
You're not 16.
Oh, okay, I'm 25. So
whoa.
I'm getting older and older.
Represent not each generation, but each.
I think Chris is like 50 now, isn't he?
I just turned 41.
Oh, look at you.
Chris is in his 40s. I'm in my 30s.
And I'm in my 20s.
Yay. We did it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your like media, like what do you bring to the table?
Well, no, so I do think, because as we're talking about, reaching the next generation, I think part of that is me and people that are younger than me. And then for me specifically, growing up, I definitely had a different kind of media selection than a lot of people.
Wait, we're gonna get to that. So
that's
our
segue.
Well, I haven't introduced myself.
Oh, okay.
Nobody cares.
So I'm young. That's what I got going for me.
So but you're like big in the YouTube world.
Yeah. So you said didn't get to that part yet, but yeah. So a lot of it.
I said.
What do you bring to the table?
Yeah, like what? Like
okay.
Like
YouTube ties into your childhood.
Gotcha. So because she talked about reading books. So I don't read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but more than anything, I watch an absurd amount of YouTube. So more than anything else, I consume YouTube on a crazy level. So
2 times speed.
2 times speed. That's a life hack for anyone. I was listening to a podcast, and I'm at 2.7 times speed this morning.
Way.
Yeah. So
I'm like 1.25 is as fast as I
am. I'm like, speed this up. We don't have time for this.
He's building it up so he can listen to stuff like at an amazing rate.
Very fast. So I listen to YouTube very quickly.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't even keep up with your like. It's you can develop the habit. Though,
oh, you definitely can. You slowly over time speed it up, and then now 2 times speed sounds normal, if not a little slow.
Gosh, so I listen at 1.25 because their voices still sound the same, but it's just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So especially the Nate Land podcast, the Nate Bargatze, those guys. Like sometimes it jumps back to 1 time speed, and I was like, "Why is this so slow?"
Yeah, exactly.
1.25. But yeah, I can't because when they sound like chipmunks, it takes me out of it.
But if that's only what you listen to, you get used to it.
Doesn't that affect your brain in some way?
Probably. I think I'm always going in hyperdrive. I think it's made me talk a little bit faster.
You can have an aneurysm.
He's like, "You
Probably.
guys are so slow."
Speed it up.
My name's Chris. I'm a
Chris.
next gen pastor. I did middle school ministry for a lot of years, but so I oversee birth through college at One Life. What? But you also work at.
Oh yes, I am the communications director at One Life, and I do a lot of the tech and YouTube stuff.
And so, yeah. I like reading. I'm not as good as a reader as I used to be, but I think what I bring to the table, I like TV and movies and stuff, and just the I don't know. I like YouTube. I like it all. Like media stuff. Music, yeah.
I like music quite musical, even though people don't believe it.
Yeah, like the past 2 weeks, there've been like I've had 2 comments about my musical stuff, and I got mad.
Can confirm that Chris really liked that Andrew Lloyd Webber CD growing up.
I did. My wife still makes fun of me of this stuff because I had Andrew Lloyd Webber, the best of. I had all the stuff.
Wow.
Phantom of the Opera, Evita.
I have not heard of any of those things.
Twilight Express. But yeah, I did. She also makes fun of me for the. I had the Robin Hood soundtrack, which had the Bryan Adams song. Everything I do.
Yeah, that was a classic soundtrack.
Yeah. Take that, wife. All right. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Angela, if you're watching this.
But she just thought it was funny with me as like a high school boy.
Well, that is true. Like Andrew Lloyd Webber at high school. All right.
I like musicals.
You like musicals.
That's fine.
Well, let's talk about the way we were raised, and that'll probably talk about that.
So growing up, we had strict parents, I would say. Well,
I'm the youngest and a girl. So nope.
You had
didn't
strict
get to watch Jurassic
parents.
Park till you were 13, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
PG-13
behind that.
PG-13, right?
PG-13.
See?
Yeah.
PGR.
PGR. She used to say, she's like, one time she came up, she's like, I left that house because they were watching a PGR movie.
PGR.
What is that?
We're skipping the 13. We're going
PGR.
straight PGR.
I don't know what that is. But yeah, so I like there was a video game, Age of Empires, that I played the demo of, and it's a top-down game, and like the people are really tiny in the game, and like you build up an army and go fight other armies, and so like you go through the different empires, and so in the game you like poke people with swords, and then they fall over, and there's like a little red spot on the screen, but it's all like it's not close, it's not graphic or anything like that, but the game was rated 13 or 13 plus or 14 plus. I don't know what are games rated nowadays. T for teen. Yeah.
T for teen.
And so mom and dad looked it up and were like, oh, there's blood and we don't want Adrienne in there watching this. And I was like, it's like the tiniest amount of blood. And they're like, no, you can't. And they bought me Civ 3, I think, Civilization 3, which is like this giant game that's like, I played it once and I was like, I can't figure this out. And I was mad. I still don't like you for that. Yeah, I still am mad.
Right.
No, but yeah. So, but I feel like even though, like, because we couldn't watch our movies, well, I couldn't.
PGR.
PGR.
No, I couldn't until the rule was kind of like PG-13 until you go to college. Then we don't have control over you.
I don't care. That's when I watched Simpsons and rebelled.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I had watched 1 or 2 episodes of Simpsons, but not till college. Like, great show, by the way. Not the new stuff. I don't know. I haven't watched the new stuff. But yeah, so like, because I would go to friends' houses, and like they would put on an R movie, and I'd either have to call mom and dad or just go to the other room. And so there was sometimes I would just go. If they had another TV, I'd go play video games in the other room. Or there's one time me and my girlfriend at the time, now my wife Angela, we went and played ping pong in another room because like all our friends were watching some movie, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. So it was just. I don't know.
So my question is what made us do that? Because I also was in situations where my friends would be watching, we'd have a sleepover. My friends would pick an R-rated movie, and I would go and just like go to sleep upstairs or in the other room. But now I'm like, how in the world do I get my kids to do that? Like, what made us?
How do I get my kids to not have friends?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I'm the people pleaser, so I would just do things to
me too.
Make them happy.
Raise our kids to be people pleasers.
There you go.
Don't have to go to therapy.
There's no repercussions with that.
No.
So did you have any restrictions on like anything that you?
No, not really. I mean, any kind of movies or anything. I never watched scary movies or anything like that. I just wasn't into it. And then any rated R movies, I didn't go looking for. Or I guess I didn't have friends that watched them either. I guess I didn't have friends. So maybe I didn't go to sleepovers to watch movies. So I stayed and maybe that's part of it. So I didn't really watch a lot of movies or listen to a lot of music. Yeah. So another thing I bring to the podcast is I'm very uncultured. And
I am too, actually. I have like a 90s void.
Really?
It's terrible because it's like I'm a child of the 90s, but
Yeah.
And you remember nothing from it.
Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
I've heard of that.
It's a Matlock.
Yeah. So I didn't watch it. So yeah, a lot of the stuff I consumed was like YouTube. So there's no rated R on YouTube. Yeah. So I didn't have to worry about it.
There are isn't there like a mature rating stuff or content?
That might have been an older. So there's like for kids only.
The beginning of YouTube.
And then there's not for kids. So that's kind of the only difference that there is now.
Oh. I didn't know. There's no like a mature rating if there's a lot of language and stuff.
So there'll be different for since we're monetized on YouTube now. You can't. Some videos won't be monetized if you use certain language or certain imagery and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that.
Okay.
Not ad friendly.
But yeah, and I think like what that helped me do though, like not watching those movies, like it made me think about like, okay, what's the content that I'm consuming? Because I would like. Even now, I like when there's a movie, I'll go through and look at the content before I go and watch the movie because I'm like, well, there's certain things that I don't want taking in my life, and so, so even though at the time it was very inconvenient for, my friend group, but I mean, luckily my friends were cool about it. Like usually they would pick movies that they knew I could watch or just didn't care.
The Polar Express, that's one safe.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst movie ever.
Oh no!
Don't tell that to Dad.
Who's he like?
That's his favorite movie. No, okay, so yeah, growing up, I think most of the media we consumed was with our parents. I would say, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
like
not
younger.
Yes, not so much in high school as we like. Well, when I was able to go to movies.
When we were able to leave the house, sure, but like at home,
we would watch.
We didn't have a TV in our room. We didn't have it somewhere like where our parents couldn't see, that kind of thing. So we would just watch. Yeah, and our parents made us watch a lot of the classics. And I say made us. So I say like
Alfred Hitchcock. It's a Mad World. Still love that movie.
All the Pink Panther movies.
The good ones,
the good
not
ones,
not the Steve Martin ones.
Yeah,
Boo.
no.
Not a fan. I've heard of it again.
Yeah.
Not seen any of it.
We're gonna bring the culture to you on the show.
Hopefully.
This just turned into
only
like
talk about
Jimmy
like the 60s.
Yes.
Old stuff.
You gotta watch it. But he's seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. And
that's true. I did see that because
that's pop culture, which this podcast is about.
Although it was because one of the guys I follow on YouTube, he's an editor and he really recommended it. So I'm like,
I thought
very good movie by the way.
Lady's hot dog fingers.
It was so it was a very, very weird movie. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but the story was actually very compelling.
Oh, and that brings me to one of our disclaimers here. Just because we talk about something doesn't mean we're recommending it.
Yes.
Because we have gotten in trouble. When I had a radio show, we got in trouble for that because we mentioned something and somebody's like, I can't believe you.
How dare you?
Recommended that. I was like, we didn't recommend it. We just mentioned this thing. And so, again, we want you to like look at content before you engage in things like that. And so, because I think a lot of times we'll hear something or we'll talk about something like, oh, that was really cool. Like, because everybody has different standards. Because I remember I played this was hard about being a middle school youth pastor because I would play video games and then parents would be like, well, you play it. And so that makes it okay for my kid. And like, no, it doesn't. It does not. And they're like, then why do you talk about it to them? I was like, I don't know. So
gotta have a disclaimer.
Yeah. So if you're a teen watching this, like, go by what your parents say. Like, and this is one of the things I think families can fight about a lot because it's like, oh, I want to see this movie or my friends are all going to this movie and like all this stuff. And I don't remember fighting.
No, I don't remember fighting them either. And there was, I don't know, like, because they made entertainment and like consuming media fun. Yeah. Like it would be like a theme night.
Wow.
I see. There's a memory that just popped in your brain.
So you saw it happen.
For my 13th birthday, it was we had a black and white party. Yeah. And so my friends came over and they had rented. No, they bought because they couldn't find it to rent the original Phantom of the Opera that was in black and white. Like, wow. OG.
That's commitment.
Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, there wasn't even sound, right?
Right. It was a silent film. And so
a silent Phantom of the Opera, which is a musical.
So there was like the organ music.
That's perfect.
And then like, and somebody would go. And then like the thing would go and be like, the Phantom is in the building or something. And like, but mom like ended up narrating it. And I have a friend, like, again, I'm in my 40s now. And so I have a friend that still brings that up. He's like, oh, you remember the time where mom just narrated, like, She basically improv.
She narrated.
Yeah, this movie. This is my 13th birthday party, and so
man, it's unforgettable.
So my 13th birthday party, we watched Psycho, which was my first R-rated movie.
Oh,
yeah. So my mom said, 13, you can watch Psycho, all your friends, but my parents were there watching it too. So we all watched it and all were scared out of our minds. And then
never again.
Then my dad came
the original Psycho, not the like remakes.
Right,
ones.
right. The original Alfred Hitchcock. But my dad came through the back door with like holding this big wrench or something, and all my friends like fell to the floor. Like like nobody could do anything or move, but still, yeah, it's like I'm 34 and I have friends that still be like, I just saw the movie Psycho again. I can't believe that at your birthday party.
Oh my goodness.
Those days, like consuming media was fun.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened when I went to college and was like, oh, I was kind of the rebellious, like I can watch anything now.
Yeah.
And I started watching every movie I possibly could. And I realized though, like, there's a difference between watching a movie that's good and then like this feeling I would get of like, this is making me feel gross.
Yeah.
Like, and it would, and when a movie was over, I'd be like, ugh, like I just can't, even if there were redeeming qualities or things to talk about or, dissect or something, I just like, I feel gross. And that's kind of become my gauge of like, okay, what are those things that make me feel that way? And it's probably the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And the truth that I know in my core that's like, this isn't good for you. And I think everyone has those different gauges.
Yeah.
Because that could be violence for some people, sex for some, like just depending on what that is. So I think it's like listening to,
Yeah. But so now do you have anything that like you're like I won't like how do you screen content or do you screen content?
So typically I will watch a trailer, and then for me I've seen that the trailer usually gives it a pretty good vibe of, well, and to be fair, me and my wife don't watch a lot of movies, and if we do, we watch it together. So like if I'm by myself and I'm consuming content, it's YouTube. Yeah. So there's basically no screening there. Like I'll watch it and then I'll click off of it if I don't want to watch it. But with movies or anything, normally we watch the trailer, and the movies or TV shows that we're into usually aren't anywhere kind of close to that line. So we're pretty boring. We're watching Catfish right now. We've been watching 6 seasons of Catfish. We watch.
Oh my goodness.
We're into competition shows and stuff like that. Yeah, so we watch like 11 seasons of Ink Master and stuff like that. So we're not into some of the kind of closer to the edge stuff. So we don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah. So I mean my gauge a lot of times is just like with the content of it, of like violence. I'm fine with it. Like,
extreme violence, triple R.
Triple R. They can't see that on the camera. But no, Triple R. I guess because that one was weird because it was Triple R is rated mature on Netflix, but then on like if you go to the IMDb, it's like TV-14 or something.
Oh really?
So,
okay.
So I don't know. It is a little bit violent, but oh man, okay, we can't get into.
Yeah. Once we watch, I watch it.
Yeah, but Triple R, crazy. It's on Netflix, but. Again, not recommending.
Yeah.
No, but that is one that like there was violence in it and stuff. But yeah, but usually like if there's nudity and stuff, that's like when I stay away from it. And like extreme language, I'm like, wow, like that's what I feel like it's bad writing almost of like just like there's like there's 150 F words, like well, why? Like I mean, but I don't know. So yeah, I still screen content, and then like now that I have a 12-year-old who's kind of venturing and wanting more content and stuff that we're like, hey, these are things you can't watch. And then like, I mean, we watched Over the Garden Wall with her this year.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a weird show.
Yeah.
It is weird. And there's like a couple creepy things in it, but we're like, okay, she can handle it and stuff this year. And so, and she did, she liked it. So, but I want her to have those experiences with us that we're like watching those things together. And it like kind of felt special for her because it was not, like her siblings didn't get to watch it, and it was kind of
a special thing.
Yeah, so
should have narrated, just muted it and just narrated the whole thing. Then she'll have a core memory.
Yeah, you shush. So I don't know. I'm excited to jump back into this because this is something that like it's very important to me because I want because the media stuff like it does help like define us and shape us, and it kind of like gives us a view of the world around us, and so like and everything pushes a worldview. That was the thing we like they made this content for you to consume, and they want you to like think differently about the world. They want there's something that they're pushing, and is it something good? Is it something bad? Is it something that needs to be discussed further? And so that's what we want to do kind of with our podcast. So
yeah, and we want to get into your brains about anytime you watch or listen or read something. We want our voices to come into your head.
Yeah,
say, what's the worldview of this?
What would Jimmy say about this?
What WWJS?
what would Jimmy say? That'd be our first merch.
There you go.
WWJS bracelets.
There you go.
What does that mean? What would Jimmy say?
I haven't seen that. I've only seen YouTube.
I've only seen YouTube. That's going to be a recurring line.
You're a big TikToker. Are you still...
So, talking about one of the things that you just feel bad after consuming content. If I'm on TikTok for an extended period of time, I'm like, I just hate my life. I feel like I'm doing nothing in the world.
I become a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah.
Am a bad mom. There's lots of things to feel bad about after TikTok.
Yeah, but I'm not on TikTok, but like the shorts or reels or whatever, like I can get into the like so much time, like in an hour. Like how many videos is that? That's like 60 videos.
1 million.
Yeah, it's 1 million, and I'm like, what did I just do with my life? Like I didn't learn anything from this. Other than I'm a terrible person. Yeah.
Well, then we need to apply the worldview to a reel as well. It's like if 60 million people have viewed this, what about it makes it
reels
watchable?
The real deal.
I didn't think about that.
I think especially for the next generation, there are people watching movies and stuff like that, but a lot of the media they consume is going to be YouTube and TikTok.
Right.
So figuring out, okay, what are they watching on there, and then what's the worldview of even these shorter forms of pieces of content?
Yeah. So, what?
That's just gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many
what's Mr. Beast's worldview?
Oh yeah. What, did you see his new video?
Oh yeah, I paid an assassin to hunt me.
Yeah. First of all, how do you find an assassin?
Craigslist.
Okay.
They're on there.
Probably not a good one.
Apparently, he paid a lot of money. I haven't watched the video. I saw the thumbnail, so I have it in my watch later.
So he gave him a rubber knife, and he's like, "If this guy stabs me by the end of the thing," but like I watched like just like the very beginning of that stuff, and they're like tied to a train. Dude, his stuff is crazy.
Oh, he spends millions of dollars per video now. It's insane, and he's also 25, and his name is Jimmy. So I feel like I'm slacking.
Future.
This might be Mr. Beast in disguise.
We've never been in the same room together.
Yes, you have.
Oh, we have. We actually met Mr. Beast. Never mind. That's a lie.
We didn't meet him.
We were within
he was on the
stabbing
stage.
distance.
Yeah, we were there.
We could have stabbed him if we wanted.
We went to a YouTube conference in California.
That was aggressive.
We met Pierogi, the
Pierogi.
Scammer Payback. He's great. So, but I think like this is our intro episode, so we can wrap it up pretty soon. But but is there anything that you've been watching or listening to recently or reading that you're like, this was good or can recommend, or because I do want to recommend stuff at times, but I'm just
got to come up with
recommendations. It doesn't have to be a recommendation, but is there something recently that you've like, oh, this was interesting or this was cool, or been watching that?
Okay. Well, I'm currently into this is not a recommendation, by the way, but I'm like season 2 of Shadow and Bone just came out, so that's probably going to be like a hot topic for people because it is like young adult fiction, that kind of thing, so fantasy world. So I'm watching season 2 currently, but...
Is it pirates?
No. Magic people.
Is it whenever I hear Bones, I think pirates?
Nope.
Like the TV show Bones.
There's a private
It's all about pirates.
But I did read the Wing Feather Saga.
Oh.
Which is great. It's really good. If you're into reading or whatever, read
We've started it twice with our kids and just...
I cannot believe you haven't gotten any further. It's good.
I like it, but
but it's for a bit younger. It's like 10 years old and up. But that's one I can definitely recommend.
All right. Do you have anything?
Actually, yes, I do.
The new Mr. Beast video.
The new Mr. Beast video. No. So
we haven't
seen because we don't watch movies a whole lot, but sometimes we do. And we saw the Jesus Revolution movie.
Oh.
And so that was interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
I've seen the trailer. But no.
Okay. Yeah. So
that counts.
Well, it was also interesting because it was funny. About 75% through of the movie, I realized it was based on a true story. Like I thought this was just all fictional, just a story. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Is this real? I'm like, wait, this whole thing has been real. So, yeah. But
real.
Talking about how media kind of changes our brain and stuff, I think there definitely are movies where it changes my outlook or my perspective on certain things or just life in general.
Yeah.
And I think in one specific area, this definitely did that. So if you haven't checked it out, you could watch it.
Revolution.
Cool.
So you're talking about Wingfeather Saga being for younger audiences. So my son Shepard, he's 5. We were talking. We were on the walk the other day, and he's just going. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm turning everything into magic." And there's this like stone chicken. I was like, "Do you think somebody turned that into a stone chicken?" And then we started talking about the Chronicles of Narnia. Oh. And then so we keep walking. And he's like, "Is that a book or a movie?" And I was like, "Well, it's both." And I said, "Actually, we have these like CDs of it. It's like an audio presentation of them." Oh, yeah. And so 19 discs of the whole series. And so
gotta find a CD player.
I mentioned that to him, and then he has one in his room.
Oh,
so
we
got home, and then that night before bed, he's like, I want to listen to those. And so we started him on it goes from the boy and his magician's nephew. Magician's nephew is the first one, and so he's like, he listened to it as he's going to sleep, and then the next morning he got up on Friday, and he's like, I want to listen to these, and so like. He listened to 2 discs, like just sitting like at the table. Like he wasn't, because I'm like, do you want to color while you're doing this? Like, no. And so he just
dialed in.
Yeah, and listened to like, it's like 2 hours.
Wow.
And he like listened to the whole thing. And then he's like, I want to start The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, because that was disc 3. I was like, how about tonight? We start that tonight. And so he's on disc 2 of that one. And so it's cool. Like just watching him kind of take that in. So yeah, focus on the family as an audio thing. But, Puss in Boots, the new Puss in Boots movie.
I've heard good things about that.
I have heard good things.
Fantastic. So it's really good. Well, we'll probably get into that more later of like the worldview and stuff behind it, because I want to dive into that, because I had friends that like in their 20s that are like, you need to watch this movie. It was one of those things that like they were recommending. Yeah. They're like, it's not just a kids movie. Like they're like, it's really good. They're like two different people are like, this is a great movie. So Puss in Boots is on Peacock, so you can check that out. Okay. I don't know. So Peacock, you can watch stuff free. I don't know if that one's one of the free content.
I would assume no.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it's still in theaters.
But we have the commercials in it. So
in the movie?
Yeah. Well, so
that'd be
Peacock
weird.
This is what I don't get. Some Peacock movies, because we pay for like the base or whatever, so we can get the stuff, but it's with commercials. And so it's like the movies that'll show like 2 minutes of commercials at the beginning, and then none the rest.
Oh, okay.
But then there's other ones that like it has them throughout. So I don't know. I don't know why.
That would be terrible.
I know. I'm like, come on. So, but yeah, I think.
I think one thing I want to encourage listeners or watchers is to recommend stuff to us.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Whether it be, YouTube, TikTok, whatever.
In books, Jimmy can get through them super fast.
I do listen to audiobooks
5 times speeds.
I'll read books and talk about them with you. Like I said, TV shows, movies, for all of us. And then we'll give that an assignment to ourselves.
Yeah.
To walk through stuff.
We'll add it to the list.
So and hopefully from this we do. We want to build like an audience that is engaging in culture and with their friends and family and all that stuff, and hopefully have better conversations about what you take in, and then you don't just do it blindly, because I think that was a big part of like I would listen to music and like, you can't listen to that. I'm like, why not? So people are like, it doesn't matter, like, doesn't affect you. It does. So we'll talk about all that stuff coming up. So I think every other week is what we said at the beginning. So we'll try to have every other week was going to be our goal for now, and we'll see how that changes. All right. If we have a lot of books to read. But thanks. I'm Chris.
I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Jimmy.
This has been Worldview Finder. We'll see you next time.
Lovely.
That's great. My radio voice. I'm good.